Let me ask you this. How did you get into shooting adult films? Like, what was it? Like, were you always attracted to this? Did it always just stand out to you as something you wanted to do?
Okay, so before I turned 18, I never thought like, oh, I want to do porn, I want to do anything. I didn't think about sex work at all. The reason I got into sex work was, it's kind of shady actually, but like I met this guy and he like helped me get into webcamming, but he himself was like very shady.
When you were 18?
When I was 18.
Okay, because I heard some shit about some girls sneaking into the game when they're underage, and that is a whole thing.
I would never have done that, mostly because before I turned 18, I didn't want to work, and I had no reason to work.
But have you ever heard about girls starting a webcam when they're underage and then suing the shit out of the people who like facilitated it later on, or is this just urban street tales?
I've heard, obviously, webcamming is tough when you're camming on a platform because they go out.
Because how do they know?
No, listen.
Okay.
They go out of their way to make sure that you're 18. Like, you have to like submit your ID and all that shit.
Because that's the biggest liability ever.
Absolutely, 100%. But when it comes to like freelancing and like just selling nudes and shit, anybody can sell nudes.
The private Snap game?
Yeah, especially with private Snap, because Snapchat is not connected. Oh no, I guess if you do it through like FanCentro or one of those, you have to verify your age. But if you're just like, buy my private Snapchat, like DM me to buy, you can be any age.
One time Lena was getting a hug from a fucking random fan, and the girl somehow in the course of like 30 seconds said something about being underage and having a private Snap. Snapchat. And I was just like, I'm going to ignore the part that where you just said that. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that, because that's really disturbing.
It's disturbing, and it's extremely uncomfortable for me, because it's like taking away the legitimacy of sex work for me. Like, every time a girl that's underage gets into this shit and acts like it's normal, you're making people think that we're a bunch of fucking pedophiles and that we're like condoning that shit. And really, it's not okay. Like, you know, once you turn 18, you can do what you want, but under that, like, just be a kid. Like, just live your life.
I know that you're 20, but it honestly blows my fucking mind that girls are able to do this shit legally on camera at 18 sometimes too, because I'm just like, holy fuck, man.
I agree with you.
That's crazy.
I wasn't doing porn at 18. I was webcamming from the privacy of my own home.
You had the decency to wait till 19.
Yeah, 19.
Many moons later.
I wasn't like popular at webcamming. Like, I wasn't good. My quality was shit, and my body and my face and everything was just like, you know, I didn't have that glow up yet.
How'd you glow up?
Filler.
Oh, really?
And yeah.
You just got to fill your face with crap at some point? I didn't know that.
Not a lot of crap. Just, you know, you have to tweak certain little things. Obviously, I have my lips done. Anyone who's seen my earlier scenes can tell.
Okay.
Probably. And I have a little filler in, well, I had it under my eyes, but that dissolved.
But what, you get the cheeks done?
Okay.
Or the chin?
Not my chin. I've had filler like here, and that was part of like getting my under eyes to like fix the symmetry. I didn't really notice a difference, and nobody else really noticed a difference, but like it just looked a little more like cleaner, if that makes sense. Like a little more like on point, like symmetrical, and just it looked good.
Okay.
It looks good.
So the scumbag guy gets you into webcamming?
Yeah.
And he was a total piece of shit, or just a little bit?
Total piece of shit. But I didn't realize that until I already stopped dealing with him, and then I had to like reflect after and be like, wow, this guy was a fucking piece of shit.
Okay.
And he didn't want me to do professional porn because he had this weird idea. It's called like the Whorearchy, which is like, there's so many different parts of sex work. Like,
this is something he invented?
No, this is a real term.
The Whorearchy.
This is what he believed in. Like, this is how he felt.
Outline this Whorearchy for me.
So there's many different types of sex work. There's like webcamming, there's porn, there's escorting, there's stripping, there's a lot of different, you know, phone sex. And the Whorearchy is the belief that certain types of sex work like are better than others and make you like, you know, better or more successful or whatever. That's like saying, basically how he thought is like, oh, if you do porn, you're a fucking whore because everyone's touching you and you're getting fucked. But if you're camming, yeah, you're getting naked, but at least nobody's putting their hands on you and you're just by yourself. Like,
do you reject this? Because I feel like this is what a lot of people believe.
I 100% reject that idea, and it's so false and just bullshit. I just feel like...
What is it, the part that you think is untrue about it?
I just think like... if you're getting naked and posting it online, or you're getting naked, like, if you're selling sex, it doesn't matter for me, like, what type of sex it is, whether it's, like, virtual sex or, like, a video or, like, real life sex. Like, it doesn't matter.
I mean, everybody's got what they're comfortable with. And it's a whole spectrum. Because on one hand, like, you know, some girl might, like my girl, when she first started, she was just doing private snap, just sitting there fingering herself. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have, you know, getting the gangbang done by 10 dudes. And it's like, some girls are super down with the gangbang by 10 dudes, and they should continue to do it by all means. Somebody got to do it. And then some girls might be happy doing, maybe some girl likes to, you know, the most she'll ever want to do is she just wants to fucking flash a titty on Twitter.
And you
that's
know what?
it. That's where she's going to draw the line. That's okay too.
What's crazy is that some girls will make the same amount of money or more flashing a titty as the girls that are getting gangbanged. And one doesn't make you better than the other. It's all just about your hustle and how you promote yourself and your brand, you know?
It's true. One does not make you better than the other.
No.
It's all relative. It's
Like,
all what you're comfortable with.
I would love for someone to, like, explain to me, like, someone who believes in that shit, what makes a girl that gets fucked on camera like me, like, lesser than a girl who does webcamming. And the only explanation that I can think of is that you think that having sex is, like, bad and that you're sex negative, which I don't agree with.
Right.
Like, there's no other explanation to me. It doesn't make sense.
So tell me how you go from camming, which you claim you weren't that good at, to where you're getting, like, right into the actual porn world.
So it was September 2017. I stopped dealing with this guy because he was just getting, like, increasingly more shady. And I realized, like, you know, I've been naked online for about a year, and this is my life, and I need to actually take it seriously and not be, like, fucking around with this. Who knows who this guy is? And to this day, like, I don't know what he's about. Like, he disappeared from my life, whatever. But so that happened in September 2017. And then I went through, like, I lost a family member. And then it just made me kind of, like, reflect on life. And I was like, what do I want from life? Like, I want to be happy. And I thought, and I was like, I want to do content. I want to fuck on camera, but I don't want to do it myself. I don't want it to be, like, on a phone and look amateurish or some shit. So I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it, like, right. I'm going to just go all out, go in. So I contacted this agent in Florida, and he flew me down, and then I just started shooting porn. I literally haven't stopped.
Really?
Yeah, for, like, 13 months.
What was your first one
14.
like?
My first scene?
Yeah.
It was actually good. I feel like if it was bad, I think about it sometimes, and I'm like, if it was a bad experience, would I be here right now? Would I be doing what I do?
You hear about that sometimes. Girls do it once and then they're over it.
It's like, some girls, I look at their first scene, I'm just like, I can't even imagine what that experience shooting that was like, with just the most amateurish people with, like, a camera in a hotel. Some of these guys try to, like, steal the girl's first anal. Like, they'll, like, put it in your butt for, like, 2 seconds and then be like, we have her first anal. That happened to a girl that I saw, and she was, like, really on the come up. Like, she was going to be the next big thing, and she kind of fell off.
Wow.
Yeah, she had to get a lawyer and everything. It was
crazy because you hear about, you know, well, like, you know, dudes will be saying shit like that, like, oh, you know, yeah, like, oh, like, dudes will, like, try to slip it in the butt. Having sex. Wait, but you're saying that the ass won't be lubed up or nothing, and just still jam it in there and then put it out there and say first anal? That is so crazy.
I feel like a lot of people, if you're not in the porn industry, you might not understand what it means to, like, steal someone's first anal.
First anal is a big deal.
You could be robbing them of, like, up to 10 grand.
But at the end of the day, like, first anal, like,
it's a huge deal.
Based on what I know of anal sex, you do not want to be surprising anybody with a dick in the butt.
Oh, fuck no.
That is a horrible idea.
I mean, look, if you didn't, like, it does, even if the girl was okay with it in the moment, even if the guy said, like, oh, baby, like, let me put it in your butt, and she was like, okay, like, whatever, it's still not okay because you didn't talk about it before. Like, when someone's having sex, they're not in, like, the correct state of mind, you know?
Yeah,
like,
and it needs to be a lot of lube. You need to get that thing warmed
and
up.
You need to get
you
fucking paid, and it needs to be on the paperwork and all that shit. So I just feel like to steal someone's first anal in that way for their first scene ever is just, like, very, very fucked up.
What was the decision like for your first anal? Like, what was it like?